Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good evening to all. As you know, this session is on the theme of conflict resolution, which is very hot topic for last many years. My presentation is on the model of peace building and conflict resolution. I am very happy to present this topic here because of two reasons. One thing, most of the audience are youth. Youth can do more than others. Second thing, my colleague Yasin is from conflict affected area, Kashmir from India. So I am very happy to present my thoughts on this topic. As the time granted for my presentation is limited, so I would like to enter the core of my topics without more introductory words. This is my attempt to invite the attention of researchers like you to the importance of nursi's model to build peace and to resolve the conflict. I hope slide will come very soon. Okay. I understand the technical problem. I continue. The outline of my presentation includes a short introduction, then what and why the Badial model, the ways of peace building, Badial concept of conflict resolution, and finally comes to my research findings and conclusions. I will talk about two important aspects in the area of peace. First one is conflict resolution and second one is peace building. What is conflict resolution? It can be defined in many ways. We can define what is conflict resolution. In my understanding, there are some methods and processes involved in facilitating the peaceful ending of conflict and resolution. This process helps to resolve the underlying incompatibilities of a conflict, including attempts to get the parties to mutually accept each other's existence. Then, peace building. Peace building means interventions that are designed to prevent the outburst or resumption of violence or conflict. By creating a sustainable peace, peace building activities address the root causes or potential causes of violence. I want to bring some important facts to your consciousness. As I mentioned in the beginning, conflict resolution and peace building has been the prominent areas of discussion and research all over the world for last many years. If we go to the statistical data, let us see a number of governmental and non-governmental organizations dedicated their whole effort to build peace. They spent thousands of crores for establish peace in the world. They spent thousands of resources for this purpose. We have done countless research on this area. If we count the numbers of Thank you. If we count the numbers of peace activities and volunteers and peace organizations, it will be exceed than other areas of work. But unfortunately, we are still conflict are going on. Number of conflict and violence are increasing. I am not denying the positive effect of all these efforts and attempts, but we should think why the levels of violence and conflicts are still increasing. Why we claim to build sustainable peace in the world? I think this is the time for searching new alternatives, different model from current trends. We should think and discuss new ways of peace building and conflict resolution. Here, I want to suggest you Latheef model as an alternative. It is based on thoughts and methods of Saint Nursi. I believe that no need of more words to explain Saint Nursi for your understanding, because we are here to discuss and analyze the thoughts and philosophy of Saint Nursi. You may ask me that there are many personalities who contributed for peace, like our father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi, and Nelson Mandela. There are a lot of personalities, different personalities spend their whole life to establish peace. Why I am highlighting the Latheef as a role model for peace building? As we all know, he not only contributed and dedicated his whole life to establish peace in the world, but also contributed intellectually. He described various methods of peace building and conflict resolution as a form of practical aid rather than theoretical form. His life itself is a reference book for all peace workers in the modern age. We have read from his autobiography that Islam was misunderstood as a militant religion or religion of violence in this period. But he demonstrated the reality through his collection of Risale-i-Nur. What is real Islam? Islam is not a religion of violence, it is a religion of peace. Nursi strongly opposed violence, humane act, and noted in his writings that he was often challenged because of his commitment to peace. Nursi's scholarship in religious philosophy and understanding of human nature and his vast knowledge combined him to study his thought as an alternative model. Another major thing is why and how it differs from other approaches. There are a lot of different approaches we are following, but how it will differ from other Latheef model, how it differ from other approaches. In my observation, I found 5 facts for that, for its significance. First one is, it is the faith-based model. I personally believe that we cannot achieve sustainable peace without spirituality. Because of lack of time, I don't want to talk more on the importance of spirituality in peace building. Second thing is a text-based model. Why I call this text-based model? Risale-i-Nur is the manual of this model. One can operate these activities based on the guidance of Risale-i-Nur. The third point is, which I found that Risale-i-Nur is uniquely fitted to address not only Muslims but also the whole mankind. The fourth point is that he wrote this manual in a period which was full of crisis and conflict, especially for Islamic world, and it succeeded in its application. And fifth point is that this model addresses the root causes of conflict and real source of peace. There are other approaches which suggested ways for conflict resolution and peace building, but they fail to address the basic causes of conflict. The concept of peace is wider in this model than in other approaches. According to this model, peace can categorize into 3 types. That is inner peace, peace of surroundings, and the universal peace. Only this model talks about the concept of inner peace. As a psychology student, I know nowadays most of people are searching for inner peace. They have everything. They have lot of materialistic things, but they can't enjoy their life. They can't enjoy their family relationship. They can't find their real goal. So, most of people are searching for their inner peace. Modern psychology itself neglecting the area of inner peace. So, the only one model, Latheef model, is consider the inner peace as an important thing. Inner peace is the peace of mind and aim of individual level. All of them talking, every organization, every teachers, every researchers talking about the word peace. There are so many organizations working for word peace, but the concept of Latheef model, universal peace is broader than word peace. This model suggests many strategies for peace building, and most important one is integration. Integration among various communities, organizations, communities of faith, countries helps for peace building. As my friend mentioned here, Buddhism took initiative for dialogue among different perspectives or different religions for harmony. Let us see, integration has positive impact on the international community. Even the General Assembly of the United Nations has proposed model suggested the principle of integration in Article 1, but they failed to implement the concept of integration. It's very effective strategy from international level to local level. Both peace building and conflict resolution, forgiveness is an essential one. It helps to overcome psychological disturbances like anger, fear, anxiety, and stress. The concept of intergroup forgiveness has received empirical attention from researchers in psychology and sociology. In circumstances of conflict, forgiveness is the quick and effective strategy to build peace. In some cases, silence helps to keep peace in the world. In many situations, nursi kept silent to avoid conflict. In his writings, he mentioned that this is the time of silence. Now comes the main theme of our session, which is conflict resolution. Before discussing conflict resolution, what is the conflict? We can define conflict as a disagreement that leads to tension within and between people. Then, as I mentioned, conflict resolution, as I told earlier, is an attempt to resolve the underlying incompatibilities of a conflict, including attempts to get the parties to mutually accept each other's existence. This model considers conflicts as an enemy of humanity. The only possible way to resolve conflict is faith-based model. Nursi always utilizes the Quranic principles and the life of Prophet to develop an alternative solution instead of the Western-made strategies. But in Zaman identified the root causes of conflict. It considers poverty, ignorance, and enmity as deep-rooted causes of conflict. It believes that dissatisfaction of basic needs leads to violence in many situations. When we analyze different events, different conflicts around the world, we can get the real picture of what is the cause of, what is the solution for conflicts. As we know, many of violence or war were the product of our politics. Even we see many events in these days. According to Buddhism, non-violent power should exist to build peaceful and non-violent society. Buddhism identified other causes also, which are not considered by other approaches. They believe in force rather than truth, self-interest rather than interest of or humanity, worship money rather than spending for the wellness of mankind, unlimited freedom rather than limited freedom, and lack of mutual understanding. I got the point, so I am going to conclude. The core question of this session may be how we resolve the conflict. In any conflict, there will be two parties. One party who is convicted, suffer, torment of both fear and anger in conflict. Other party who stand on some wrong motives or principles. In any situation, the reconciliation and forgiveness are effective strategies to resolve conflict and to get the parties to mutually accept each other's existence. I don't want to talk more because my time is over, so I conclude here. But I want to stop it here. But if the model has identified the real causes of conflict and suggested strategies to overcome them. This model of peace building and conflict resolution has wider application and solution for many problems. We should conduct more researchers to focus on nursi's concepts of causes of conflict and its remedies in the context of modern world. I strongly believe that this model can overcome the limitations of some other approaches also. I conclude here. Let us act together to achieve the materialism and concept of same type of peace, especially the concept of universal peace. Thank you for your kind attention and hearing. Thank you once again to organizers.